Well, it used to be different. Used to be focusing on the parents and their participation and their response. But as we've gone through the years, there has been less participation, and I thought, let's just make it for the children. So I completely switched gears and created a new system that was more child-focused and user-friendly. I really get excited about portfolios when thinking about the children, that they can actually take them home and interact with their families and actually read and talk about the different experiences they've had in the classroom. I also love reading them back to the children and really taking in what their response is in the beginning, and then reading it again maybe 6 months later and revisiting the story. When I first started at Hilltop, we had these giant binders, and they would be so full of all of the pictures and stories and art. We had them accessible to the children, and then they would go home at the end of the year. The nightmare about these is that they're not user-friendly for children, and they would come open and all the papers would go everywhere, and then they would be mixed up and out of order, and they're just not user-friendly for children. They are clunky. And so that's why I switched to a different system, which is this system. So this is the system that I thought up after dealing with years of the big clunky binders with the papers falling everywhere. This kids can get and look at whenever they want, before nap, during playtime, and it has all these slip covers, and so the sheets are protected. This is starting a new quarter, so we just have one document, but the goal is to fill this and send it home every 4 months or so. And children can be read too. The teachers can read them if they ask, and that's pretty cool too. And when I write the documents now, I try to make it less jargony because my audience is the children. I'm not seeking validation from adults, and so that actually makes it more interesting and fun to write documents that are going to be read to the children instead of the adults. At the end of the quarter, we pick all the papers out, which is kind of consumes a lot of time, but and then we have a binding machine, so we stick them in and spiral bind them, and then let the kids decorate the front because this is their journal. So here's phase 1 and phase 2. We were sending less digital copies. In fact, I didn't send digital copies for many years. It was more of a talking point. It was a homeschool bridge connection, and we would send them home, and parents would actually write in them and send them back, and those were amazing times. Now that does not happen as much, and so now I use them as just to record progress through stories, and I'm really writing to the children instead of the parents now, and it feels a lot better actually. And well, the whole idea behind the system is that the children can take ownership of their portfolios and access them whenever they want. And so I introduce them at the beginning of the year. This is your portfolio or journal, and we write stories about all your adventures. And so the kids can get them whenever they want. They can ask the teachers to read. Their parents might stay and read them too. And they just go back in the same place